James, you son of a bitch.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is James
And Ben.
and together we are the twin engines of destruction, and finally the day is here. The new Predator sequel, Prey, has just released today on HuLu, and we're gonna review it.
Yeah, we checked it out, guys, so if you want to hear our thoughts, go ahead and give this video a like to help support the channel, and let's get into it.
Pour yourself a cold one.
Cheers. Alright, man, so here it is. The movie is out. We have been awaiting this Predator movie for a long time. We've been waiting for a movie that will like kind of stand up to the first couple of movies. And I know James has been waiting with bated breath to see if this movie was good. So I'm very excited to hear what you thought. What are your thoughts on this?
I gotta say I loved it. I gotta say, now once again, this is just, I'm riding the high of just recently watching it just hours ago. So who knows how I'll feel in 10 years from now, But as of right now, I gotta say it's a breath of fresh air. We finally have a good Predator sequel, because Predator franchise has really been more downs than ups, sadly. Yeah. Especially with the tumor of the last movie, The Predator, by Shane Black in 2018, which was the worst film I've ever had to sit through in the theater.
So bad, dude. Yeah,
so this one I feel is great. And you guys know me, I'm very nitpicky. Even if I love something, I'm not going to hold back from, finding, mentioning its faults or what I didn't like. Look at Boba Fett. Loved the character, hated the show, I didn't hold back from it. Yeah. These guys, I grew up with Predator. I am a big Predator fan, and I feel like this is as good, if maybe not as good, but a little lower than the original.
All this awesome stuff that's here on the table is all James's. None of this is mine. I can't claim any of this. This is all his. Big Predator fan. I love Predator 2. I don't collect any of the toys or anything like that, or read any of the books. So I love that about this whole dynamic that we have, though. Like, you are fully enveloped in this world. Me, not so much, but I enjoy a good action flick. And I gotta say, this really held up, especially towards, because before this movie, I watched the original Predator, and I watched AVP, just to, kind of
refresh yourself.
Exactly. And this one holds up right with them, and it's a good movie. I didn't like the Predators, or what is it?
The Predator from
The Predator, and I didn't like Predators, and so it's been a while since we've had a good Predator movie. And I think this one does a great job establishing itself within the mythos of these characters, of these legendary alien species hunters. And it was great. I enjoyed my time thoroughly.
So just right now, our quick judgments here. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 9 out of 10. It's very close to perfection. There's a couple of little nitpicks. But yeah, 9 out of 10.
And we're going to get into those nitpicks.
Yeah.
But if you just, like you said, you want the quick review, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. It's not as good as James's, but I do have my issues with it. But I still had a great time watching it. Like I said, thoroughly establishes itself as a solid movie. Mm-hmm. So, and it was by the director Dan Trachtenberg, the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, or
yeah.
I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's a great movie. So, solid movie from him. Very happy with it.
So that's our short and quick review. After this, we're going to get more into the nitty-gritty, so there may be some spoilers ahead. So just warning you now, okay?
If you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back. We're going to get into what we liked, what we didn't like, all the specifics. So we'll see you after you watch it. All right, so first off, I feel like I'm going to be kind of more or less interviewing James about this, because I really want to get his point of view, and I know you guys wanted to, because he's so deep in this story and mythos and stuff. So we got a new Predator design in this movie. More archaic, more Neanderthal-ish.
What I was thinking is he's the most Tarzan of all the Predators. He's just so very stripped down. He's basically loincloth, rags on his feet, and his gauntlets.
We got a new Predator design, 0 pecs, all abs. That's the thing. That's the first thing I noticed when I saw him. This man's got 18 abs just all up his body, no pecs. I thought that was interesting though. It's a very cool take on like a humanoid alien, because we get a bunch of humanoid aliens. We get them in Star Wars all the time. They just have human bodies, normal human bodies, alien head. This changes it up a little bit. Kind of takes a human aspect, but like emphasizes one aspect of it and makes it throughout the body. I thought it was a very interesting like play on the humanoid design of the Predator. So I like that a lot. And somehow they got uglier.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that because that's in my. The Predator design is on my likes and my dislikes, but we'll
get to that
at a time. Yeah,
and also his EDC. He's got an awesome EDC. I love this Predator's EDC. He's got some great weapons. For those of you who don't know, EDC means everyday carry. All of his weapons that he brings down to Earth to carry out his hunting mission. They're a lot of fun and things that we haven't seen before.
Like they haven't really had the plasma caster. It hasn't evolved yet. Like they haven't.
And I love that. I love that so much. I think that's such a smart idea. Let's not have them have the same weapons almost all the time because they usually do.
Yeah.
Let's change it up a little bit. Let's have a little fun with this idea of this is in the past. So their tech is a little less sophisticated. And I really enjoyed that aspect. What did you think about that?
I love this Predator. He's called the Feral Predator. That's what the production team called him.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, the helmet. I'm a sucker for a bone mask.
Oh.
So that right there. And
like a Cubone? Yeah. The Pokemon Cubone?
Yeah, one of my favorite Pokemon. I love the design. As you can tell, I'm big into the designs and I'll buy the action figures and stuff like that. This guy is catapulted to one of my favorite Predator designs of all time. Like you said, he's very primitive, very stripped down. He has much less armor than, in the future they're going to have. But I think it works well with this story.
Yeah.
Because, once again, he's fighting Comanche Indians and not Special Forces SEAL Team 6 guys. Yeah. So it's kind of more on par. Not only that, but here's one thing I was thinking about earlier today. And I don't have anything to back it up. This is just my theory. But I feel like they gave him this design on purpose because it kind of mimics like when you think of Native American boogeymen like the Skinwalker, the Wendigo. If you look at pictures like in pop culture, they tend to have like a bone mask and they're tall and gangly. Well, if they did this, I think it's really smart. It's like if natives would tell the story and somehow they're describing the Predator, but 300 years later to us, it's like they're describing, the Wendigo and all this stuff. And that's why when you look at pictures of it,
a little telephone game, it becomes something completely different.
But yeah, I liked it. I think this Predator was really scary. Because he has less weapons, I feel like it makes him a little more unsettling.
Yeah, and he gets beat up a good amount in this movie. He's taking wounds left and right.
Yeah.
But they do show a scene where he like patches himself up, same as our main character. All right, so let's backtrack a little bit. We got our main character here, Naru, played by Amber Midthunder, and I'm a big fan of this actress. I've known her previously from the show Legion that was on FX. I don't know how many of you guys have seen that. Legion was an FX show about mutants. So this is Amber's first big like starring role, I believe. And she does a really good job. She knocks it out of the park as Naru. Does a great job as this Comanche warrior. And the brother was cool. Strong character. He loved his sister. He has the whole line about like you're not passing. I could only think of Gandalf. Like you will not pass. You shall not pass. I forgot the line from Gandalf.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, they're basically their thing of like killing the big predator.
Yeah,
I love that line. And then we have Naru's dog too, which plays a big part. Ends up playing a huge part in the end. He distracts the predator at the very end, and gives Naru a chance to one up it. The dog was fun. I mean, because Indians, Native Americans had hunting animals and shit all the time, so that was.
He was a cute puppy. I was worried a couple times, like, oh no, like the bear's gonna get him or the predator's gonna get him.
Yeah,
and luckily
he was smart.
The dog survived.
She said he was smart.
Yeah,
and he knew what he was doing.
Little dude.
She's also this main chick. Naru is a healer, tracker. She's like a medicine woman, tracker, hunter. She's good at all these things. She's precise with a hatchet.
Okay, so I do want to now mention her as the main character because we live in a very ignorant time on the internet, and right away people are going to roll their eyes saying that like, oh, more female empowerment or something like that. Why would a little teenage girl like take on a predator? Guys, I'm all for good writing. It doesn't matter if you're a male or female. If you are a well-written character, I'm going to love you, and if you're a shitty written character, I'm going to hate you. Rey from the Star Wars movies,
bad.
Hated her. There was no payoff to why she was this good. They didn't let's face it, the writers didn't know. Yeah,
She's
exactly. This character, she's like there with like the old school cool chicks like a Ripley, like Ellen Ripley. Like you see her being good at things and you see her learning and she makes mistakes.
She gets knocked out like twice.
Yeah, exactly. So I think she's a good character to latch on to. You know, for anyone who's gonna think, you know, I haven't seen it, but if it's a girl power movie, I'm not gonna waste my time. Guys, don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant and think that a girl can't kick some ass or can't learn.
Given the right circumstances, given the right training.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what she had.
There's a lot of setup and payoff. You know, she's learning how to do this. It'll come back to play later. You know, the items and all this stuff. The story, you know, the dialogue, you know, no more. This is the end. You know,
I love that.
All that just comes together. Very well written script. You could tell they really cared.
I love a bookended story that like you start with something and then you end with that thing that you learned.
Yeah, short and sweet. You know, you keep it together. It feels good. There's a really good strong sense of closure. So I really like that. I love the Frontier era. You guys know me. I love, you know, hunter-gatherers, hunting, rites of passage. Like, if you like movies like The Revenant, if you like video games like Red Dead Redemption games, you're going to love this. This is right up your alley. Once again, the Predator's look. I mean, I can't wait for them to announce the figure because I'm getting that bastard the day it comes out.
Ooh.
And I'm sad we didn't get this in theaters because I would have enjoyed being, you know, immersed with a cold beer and some wings. I would have loved that.
Well, this is something I have to reiterate that my girlfriend told me is that what took her out of the movie the most was the way it was shot. I don't know if I have such a big deal with the way it was shot. I do probably feel like it affected my engrossment, my engagement into the movie a little bit, but not very much. Not too much where it mattered too much. But I can see what she was talking about. It does look like it was made for TV almost. Kind of. Maybe not made for TV, but like made for like a streaming service. I don't know if that makes any sense. But it doesn't seem like it was fully made for a thematic experience. And I feel like if it was, it would have just made it that much better. And been that much more engrossing. But
well, I mean, the thing is that this is basically Predator being direct to DVD.
Yes.
That's the modern equivalent because the last one was so bad. And I bought tickets to that crap. Me and Cuervo watched it. And we were sitting there cringing. Our teeth were breaking of like, ugh, that was terrible. You know, it did such a bad job that it knocked Predator off the movie theaters and into streaming. But I do feel it's a blessing in disguise because instead of trying to milk a dying cash cow, they finally got a team that really cared and really wanted to do something special with it, and it worked. I think it worked.
Yeah, and maybe they're right there because if they had put it in theaters, I don't know how much traction it would have gotten.
Yeah, I mean, in today's Marvel cinematic fans, you mentioned to a 25-year-old if they've seen Predator, they'll be like, I've heard of it.
Yeah,
So
Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it, I think.
Yeah,
that's what they'll say.
We're already fading into the background. Us '80s kids that grew up with all these franchises that have been milked to death, where they're more bad than good. So this is a blessing in disguise. You gave it to someone that cared. You got a good crew. Yeah, what like the way your girl was saying about like. Keep in mind it's a much lower budget. They're like, we're gonna give Predator another shot, but you're only getting this much.
Yeah,
make the best out of it. And I think considering what they had to work with, I thought it came out spectacular.
Great job.
Yeah, so.
There's like a couple more positives I liked. We get a lot of like payoff from things we saw earlier in the movie, whereas like she had this moment where she was about to, and it was a very tense, like tension-filled moment where she's like drowning in this quicksand, and she's able to save herself with the last throw with her like hatchet rope thing, and she saves herself, and then she uses that later for to trap the Predator in, and I just love that. I love payoff. I love like a setup and a payoff.
Yeah, this movie should have been called Setup and Payoff because there's so many things established. The orange herb, the great hunt.
The cold, like it makes your blood cold.
Yeah. See, what I like is it takes all the things we know, like the Predator didn't see me, and Dutch puts mud, and instead of just copying it, like you would have thought a lazy writer would have, she fell in the quicksand. The quicksand, she comes out and she has mud.
Because that's what people thought seeing the trailer. Yeah. They were like, she's just doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, they do a lot of things, but they reinvent them in a new way, and I thought that was very interesting.
A lot of fun. And then that brings me into the fact that she uses she's a good medicine woman, so they have this scene in the movie where her and the Predator. Because, like I said, the Predator gets beat up a lot. She gets beat up a lot. and they're both like healing themselves with their own salves. He has his little like thing that he shakes up and then like sprays. I love that he shakes it. I don't know why, but I love the fact that he like has this like pen or whatever, and he shakes it a little bit and then like he squirts it on his leg.
Super gluing his little cuts, like, you know, it looked like super glue.
And she's putting the salve in her wounds. I thought that was great. Like right before their big fight, man. But it's hard to talk about this movie and not talk about the fact that they are speaking plain English throughout the entire movie, which brings me to one of my biggest faults that I have with the movie is that this movie is English speaking. They take this Comanche tribe and they have them all speak perfect English and they all have really pretty teeth. So that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. That's one of the faults I have with it. That's one of the things that brings it down to a 7 for me is that the realism, like at this point we've had Apocalypto. That was 12 years ago, something like that. They're all speaking Native American language. It's very realistic. I don't understand why they thought going all American English was the best way. I feel like it would have been more engrossing if they were speaking actual Comanche the whole time.
There's actually a Cherokee cut that should be available within days from now. So they actually filmed everything again in the Cherokee language. Here's the thing about the English thing why it didn't bug me. Okay. Because we're Americans.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I get that.
Not all of us want to read at the bottom. I wouldn't mind it too much, but the average Joe that had a hard day at work, they don't want to be doing homework.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah, there's a Comanche cut. In fact, it might be available as we speak.
That's great. That's really cool. So that's good to know. That might completely bring it. If I watch that cut, maybe that cut will bring it up to like an 8 for me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a couple of nitpicks or dislikes. I mean, majority of these are just minuscule, so they're not deal breakers. They didn't like hurt the plot. So overall, they're just like little details. Mm-hmm. The first one is I hated the Predator's face. I thought it was ugly, and I'm not ugly as in like it's frightening, but like it just looked stupid.
It was definitely frightening. I think
when he takes off his mask,
I didn't hate it. I did not hate it. I thought it was still creepy. I know it looked different, but I feel like that had it went along with his archaic weapon set. He has a more archaic look, like more like he's not. I don't know. That's weird though, right? Like,
I mean, I feel like they changed it just for the sake of changing it. I kept thinking because he had such a fat forehead. Like, dude, are you having an allergic reaction? Like, his eyes were like this far apart, and
I didn't mind it too much. I thought it looked okay. I didn't mind it too much. Like I said, I went with the whole cake weapon set. He's different. Like, this is a different Predator. This is not these guys. This is before these guys.
I'll forgive him because I love the mask. I love the mask so much.
Where do you think that skull's from? It can't be real, right? That has to be like made. They made that.
Well, it kind of resembles. I was thinking about it. It kind of resembles the River Ghost from Predators, and then that was a reference to the original Predator costume before this costume. Like before they had this costume made in '87, they had this like praying mantis looking, and Van Damme was in it. Because he was little.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I mean it's unreleased. We'll show it in B-roll here, but I feel like so in the original it's like an insect type. Before they made the Predator, right? Before the final look that's iconic now. And in Predators in 2010, the Robert Rodriguez produced movie, they kind of have him for a second, like that original look, chasing after a person and the sniper kills it. And it kind of looks like it's the bone, like the skull of that creature.
Interesting.
He placed it on top of his mask. Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, because he has a thermal imaging. He has all the technology.
Yeah, it's still a mask.
That's where I was weirded out because it looks like a bone mask. So it looks like he just put another creature's skull on his face. But I was like, he still has thermal imaging through it. He still has all these cool tech through it. So I was like, wait, I thought it was just a bone mask. But no, it's like that would make more sense that he just put that on top of like a technological mask.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I loved it, but yeah, I hated the look. And then, so I was thinking about it.
Face.
I don't know shit about Halo, but I know like the elites, like they're an enemy.
They have
that's what it looks like. Even the whole not having eyes and you could see their little mandibles, and then you take it off and you see their face. That looks exactly like him. So it kind of like killed a little bit of his uniqueness because it looks like one of them. But overall, I'm a sucker for this design. Can't wait for the figure. But I hated the face. I thought it looked stupid. But, okay, that's, once again, nitpick.
Why does the Predator not have a theme song? Does the Predator have a theme song? I think the Predator should have a theme song.
Yeah,
I think the Predator should have, like, a theme, but, like, We don't have that yet, and I want it so badly.
I think they wanted to distance themselves from the old ones.
Okay, that's fine.
Because like in the old ones,
but I don't even think they really have
one
that carries on
here.
They don't. I feel like the Predator deserves like some kind of theme at this point. Let's give the Predator like a good theme song, some good like overture or something that like the fucking the Imperial March or something for the Predators. Let's get something memorable going music wise. That's another one of my cons, but there is good composed music for this movie that does match well with the feel.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it is a little generic, but I feel it works for the setting. Yeah. It could have been a little bit more memorable, you're right, but I'm glad that they're not trying to play Little Richard's Long Tall Sally.
Yes.
I like that they're not trying to like Predators. Predators every 5 seconds was some kind of throwback. Yes. The 2010 movie. You know,
that's the whole fad right now, and I'm over it. So.
Yeah, so I like that this one just wanted to do its own thing. You know, it's coming from a franchise, but it's not heavy on repeating lines and you know all that stuff.
That's good.
In the climax, the Predator did get his ass kicked very quickly. I mean, she clearly had the upper hand in the last 5 minutes, and that part was a little like plot armor.
That's the last thing I have in my notes, or one of the last things I have, where it says the final battle felt a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, I mean, she was whipping his ass left and right. Now, don't get me wrong, throughout the story, she's learning. She knows the environment more than he does, of course. So all this works, but also, like, you can make excuses. He was already very injured. I mean, she shot him in the back of the head.
He bleeds a lot in this movie. He gets hit a lot. He gets stabbed in the foot. He gets, like, attacked by the bear.
Arrows going through his shoulder.
Arrows. And he just shrugs it all off like nothing. Which is, I thought it was a little weird because he's getting hit. Like other Predators, like, they're like, oh, fuck. And then they have to go and heal it immediately. This dude was shrugging shit off left and right. But, I mean, 18 abs.
I mean, here's where I kind of like...
Shrug it off.
Here's where I kind of feel like it, once again, a setup and a payoff. And that it works to its advantage. This Predator's basically loincloth. There's going to be drawbacks to that. Maybe you're a big macho guy to your tribe and you want to be like, I don't need fucking...
Maybe it makes you a little faster.
But there's a reason why 300 years later, these dudes are dressed like fucking football players. Maybe it's like, hey, you know what would save us from getting hurt all the time? We had like basic fucking coverings. Like, so maybe they learn. Maybe they're like, maybe that's a sign like, oh, they kind of figure out that humans use projectiles and stuff like that. So let's armor ourselves. Maybe I make an excuse.
No, that makes sense.
But
that makes sense.
I was a little bummed at the end that there wasn't more like lore. I kind of wanted to hear a little bit more lore on the Predators.
Yes.
Why is this guy here?
I completely agree with you.
Because it ends and like nobody came to pick up his body, like his tribe members or nothing.
We don't learn anything about the Predators at all, and I feel like that's why I love AVP so much. A lot of people shit on AVP, but I think AVP gives you so much lore. Like, more so than we've ever had into the Predators and, like, what they're doing, like, their techniques, why they're even here. Just finding out not too much more about them, but, something. Give us something. Like, and we really didn't get anything in this movie. And that's another reason why I was like, I kind of wish this was a little more about the Predator, not so much about the main character.
Yeah.
Like, give us some more, like, backstory. Like, make us want him to be the protagonist, almost. Give us some more like backstory on him and want to root for him almost, but we're rooting for her at the same time. Maybe we learn a little bit about him, we learn a little bit about her, and then like, oh, whose side are we on here?
Yeah. So that was one thing. I was kind of hoping this tribe would come and take the body or something. Oh, and there's nothing.
There is one thing, and I don't know if you saw it.
The credits?
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you see the credits?
Yeah.
So at the very end of the movie, there's credits. I didn't pay attention to it because it was really late at night when I watched it. Second time I watched it, I watched the credits with the little cave painting things. And at the very end of the credits, we get this shot of, right after the movie ends, she brings the head, she drops it in front of the tribesmen. It's on stick figures and stuff. She drops it, but then all of a sudden, everybody looks up. They're like, what the fuck? They look up, and there's 3 ships coming out of the sky with lightning and shit around them. And then that's it. It cuts.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I thought that was really cool. I mean, once again, guys, realistically, budget issues. They probably only had money to make one Predator.
I'm cool with it, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, I thought that was clever. That was a clever way to work with your budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that smart-eyed person. I mean, it worked for them. They're being clever with their budget. Oh, we couldn't afford a ship and props for a ship and more actors. Cool. And either ways, it has to come back to the Predators. She gets the pistol from Raphael Andolini, which we see in Predator 2, that the Elder had. that he gives to Danny Glover's Detective Harrigan. So how did the elder in that tribe have the pistol? Either he eventually finds Naru and kills her, or maybe she gives it to him. Maybe they work out a peace treaty. Who knows? But it opens that middle gap between Predator 2 and this one.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really clever. I like that they're connecting this movie to Predator 2, so it's Predator...
That's funny that it connects to Predator 2, though, and not Predator 1.
Well, I was thinking about this, and maybe it does connect to all of them, at least all the good Predator movies. For example, what if Naru is a distant ancestor of Billy from Predator 1? I mean, he's a native. He's holding a medicine bag around his neck all the time. He kind of has this feeling that he's being watched. It's like, how does he have that sixth sense? You know, how can he tell? So it's a possibility that he's a descendant of her. And then not only that, but I was thinking also of Predators, the third movie that introduces the Super Predator clan that are a little different than the regular Predators. And honestly, Feral Predator looks a lot like those Super Predators. So maybe it's like, you know, referencing them a little bit. Like maybe he's an ancestor of that tribe instead. Who knows? Maybe I'm just, you know, looking too much into it. But maybe it's referencing all the good ones except for that shit last movie, The Predator.
I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come. If they come up with a sequel, I'm in for it. If they come up with the offshoot, I'm in for it. Whatever they come up from here, hopefully we get a good director. Hopefully we get a good storyline. But I'm down. Hopefully they bring Dutch back. That's what I want. Bring Dutch back. Great movie. I had a good time. Still not the best I thought it could have been. Again, they put it on Hulu, short, small budget, things like that. Might have held them back, but thoroughly enjoyed it. Had a great time. I am glad the Predators are feared again, and not just jokes.
Yeah. Well, folks, that is about it for us. As you can tell, we really enjoyed it. Was it perfect? No, but I mean, I would even go as far to say that even the first Predator isn't perfect, at least to me, but it's still enjoyable enough. And like we said earlier, a step in the right direction, a much needed good step in the right direction for this franchise that's been hurting for a while, especially after that, once again, that tumor of the last movie. So yeah.
Dude, get rid of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is filet mignon to that fucking turd on the road, you know? So yeah. So, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
If you like this, please give this a like, help us grow, and comment down below what did you think about this movie, or let us know what is your favorite Predator movie of all of them.
I think shortly after this, hopefully James should have an episode or a video up about his top 5 Predators. Fortunately, I don't know a lot about the Predators, so I'm not going to be a part of that. But I'm very happy James thought of it and wants to make a video of that. So if you guys want to see that, be sure to stay tuned to the channel. And he will put that video up very soon. And I'm sure you guys will love it.
Yeah. As soon as after this one's done, I'm going to do it. My ranking of my top 5 favorite Predators in the films.
If I had to pick a favorite Predator at this point, it would probably be the one from AVP, the one that helps the female character beat the big queen alien. I love that guy. He's so dope. He had a lot of human aspects to him. I thought he was just a great warrior. And I hope... Oh, he died. He ended up dying. But, you know, R.I.P. That guy was my favorite.
Scar Predator.
There you go. That was my favorite. So, just a little tidbit.
Here's a little one for our boy Scar.
Cheers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, again, give the video a like if you enjoyed it. And we'll see you on our next review.
Thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Happy hunting.